And welcome back to the Hot Lap. And Christian Horner has come out and said, yes, it was indeed the right decision to get rid of Johnny Herbert as an FIA steward. So let's talk about it. As you know, Johnny Herbert has been somewhat controversial, especially in the Verstappen camp of late. As of late, I'm talking about the 2024 Mexican Grand Prix, etc. And it's been quite, I don't know, honest, maybe, about Max Verstappen and how he feels about Max in the media, in the public, albeit not when he's being a steward, but after. And that, quite rightly in some ways, has made some people kind of uneasy, if I'm honest. So this is motorsport.com. The web page, apparently this web page is using significant energy, but never mind. So Horner, removing Herbert as FIA steward is the right decision. We'll get into what he says with Sky on his exact thing, but the Red Bull chief weighs in on Horner's I can't even get the H's right. So Red Bull's Christian Horner weighs in on Johnny Herbert. So the Red Bull boss Horner says Formula One's governing body, the FIA, was right to part ways with the steward Johnny Herbert. Now on Wednesday, the FIA stated that Johnny Herbert, a long-time steward, a veteran of 160 Grand Prix starts, would no longer be acting as a steward at Grand Prix weekends. The FIA felt stewards' media activities, especially those as a pundit for gambling websites, were incompatible with the role of a steward. They basically said, as I'll just quickly say here, Johnny is widely respected and brought invaluable experience and expertise to his role. However, after discussion, it was mutually agreed that his duties as the FIA steward and that of a media pundit were incompatible. Ergo, gone. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's fair enough. So, this is where the story comes in. Red Bull's chief Horner, whose driver Max Verstappen was regularly at odds with Herbert last year. He said the 60-year-old's removal was the correct decision, though refuting suggestions it had anything to do with Max Verstappen. He said, well, no, he didn't say that. There's a massive ad in my way. Well, firstly, absolutely nothing to do with Max. But, he said, absolutely the right decision. He said, you cannot have stewards working in the media. You don't have it in the Premiership. You don't have it in any form of professional sport. It's totally inappropriate. Here is the actual interview here. If I go in... here we go.
Today, Johnny Herbert will not continue as a steward. Maybe one or two people thinking, well, you know, is that because he maybe had some beef with Max? I mean, there was a lot of publicity around that.
I don't. Good old Craig said, pandering. Is that because he had some beef with? No, be an actual journalist. Just ask him the question. Don't start circumventing and guessing. Anyway, carry on.
Does a decision that makes sense on the basis that people shouldn't steward and be prominent in the media?
That one I get. That one I get.
The way they've decided this. Is that right?
Well, firstly, absolutely nothing to do with Max.
Fair play.
Absolutely the right decision. You cannot have stewards, working in the media. You don't have it in the Premiership. You don't have it any other form of professional sport. It's totally inappropriate. You're either on the sporting regulatory side or you're on the media side. You can't have a foot in both camps.
Bit of a discussion about...
I mean, yeah, to be fair, I'm off at loggerhead with Horner, but he makes a really good point. The kind of point we made and in the last video, you can't sort of be doing both. Yeah, I get it. To be fair, though, I don't think it's going to be much of a loss because, as you know, an FIA steward does not get paid. They kind of sort of get paid expenses, and that is about it. Now, the issue that Johnny Herbert says, you can be Johnny Herbert, the steward, and Johnny Herbert, the person that has an opinion. I also think that's completely fair. But the issue is, it's difficult to come out in the media just after and have an opinion on Max. Just after, for example, the Mexican Grand Prix, where Max Verstappen, quite rightly, let's be honest, he absolutely deserved every second of those two penalties in Mexico. And I think the vitriol against Johnny Herbert, no, I think Johnny Herbert has been an absolutely fair steward. I think he is. Is he opinionated? Yes, but that's why he was a good pundit. I don't think he should have been removed from Sky. Now, the interesting thing is both Johnny Herbert, who was critical of Max Verstappen, and Damon Hill, who was critical of Max Verstappen, have both been gone from Sky, which is a bit strange. Internationally, there's been a lot of pressure over, oh, this is just British bias. It's British bias, especially when it comes to Max Verstappen. They've made him out as a villain. Yeah, I get it. Sebastian Vettel was made out as a villain. Okay, yeah. Having said that, both Sebastian Vettel and Max Verstappen have done things to become a villain. Sebastian Vettel, multi-21. Sebastian Vettel during the safety car, under the safety car, he thought Hamilton brake tested him, smacked him up, didn't he? As well, Hamilton. Verstappen even more so with his controversial moving under braking, his dangerous driving, the fact that he can't race fairly when it comes to it. He drives people off the road. Therein lies the difficulty, and Christian Horner is is quite fair there. Absolutely, the issue that I have with Horner when it comes to his opinions is he's not consistent enough. Now, if you want a team boss, he's probably the best team boss ever because he's gonna stick up for you absolutely no end. Here we go. Listen to this.
Certainly from Max's side, he's not going to change. He's a tough racer. If you race Max Verstappen, and there's an element I think of Lando learning how to race Max.
I get it. If you race Max Verstappen, he's not going to change, and that's the difficulty. I think it was either after Austria or Mexico. Pretty sure after Austria, he's not going to change. So if Max doesn't change, nor is the opinion of stewards like Johnny Herbert, simply because Max is a tough racer, but he's a tough racer who has admitted and he's happily said he's going to go over the line. And well, there we go. Where are we? Where are we?
We got to remember is the car.
Oh no! We've lost. We've lost. There we go. Here it is.
I don't think there's any issue between, certainly from Max's side, he's not going to change. He's a tough racer. If you race Max Verstappen, and there's an element I think of Lando learning how to race Max.
Yeah, as we just mentioned.
And I think they're just discovering that all. And inevitably, there's going to be more close racing between the two of them as the cars look so close over the forthcoming races. Well, look, I'm sure it's going to be a partisan crowd for the British drivers, but
yes, fair play.
It is for Max in Holland, but I think whenever we go to those tracks, there's always respect, for the other drivers.
I don't think Max respects the other drivers, because if he did, he wouldn't race the way he is. Let's be fair. I mean,
I hope Max gets a reasonable reception, and I'm sure it's going to be all orange again this weekend. Perhaps not all Verstappen fans, more McLaren fans, but that'll be water off a duck's back to him. He'll just have his head down, and he won't change. He's the racer that he is, and I'm sure.
And I think there's the issue. He won't change. I mean, that's kind of, I think, the issue with Max Verstappen, and that yes, lots of people like the fact that this racer is not going to change. He is who he is. He's one of the fastest guys, one of the best cars, one of the best drivers of his generation. However, all drivers do, have to change somewhat throughout their career. I mean, Lewis Hamilton, very, very talented. But he can't just rely on talent alone. Throughout the years, he's become a lot closer, and he's become a lot more integrated in where the design of the car is going. For example, he's changed his approach as well. He used to be very aggressive like Max. For example, you just need to look at his early stuff. Heck, even 2015 at the US Grand Prix, pretty much doing a Max Verstappen before Max Verstappen became famous, pushing Nico Rosberg at the first corner in the United States. Not good at all, not good racing. Had he received the penalty, you couldn't have argued with it at all. And yeah, Max, I think, going forward, you've got your Landos, you've got your Russells, Leclercs, and potentially your Hamiltons next year. He's going to have to change, because otherwise he's just going to get that razor ban, which I really hope he does not get. So, and therein lies the whole steward thing, and that's what Johnny Herbert was coming out saying. If Max doesn't change, there's potentially going to be an issue. And then obviously there we go. But it's not all negative for Mr. Herbert, because he's announced that he's joined Lola as a brand ambassador simply 24 hours after being dropped as an F1 driver steward. Yeah, the FAA confirmed on Wednesday that he'd gone. And Herbert has previously worked as a Sky F1 pundit as well, which we mentioned, for a decade. Is now working for Lola. His new position will see him contribute to Lola's Formula E activities after the brand and technical partner Yamaha joined forces with the ABT team for the 24-25 season. Lola's returned to the forefront of global motorsport. Let's be fair, they didn't particularly do well in Formula 1 in 1997, but that could include a return to the legendary Le Mans 24 Hours race, the highlight of the World Endurance Championship calendar. In a statement, Lola said that Johnny Herbert has joined to bring his expertise to Lola cars as we look to expand our presence across the highest echelons of motorsport and drive future progress in sustainable motor racing. Congratulations, Johnny Herbert, on your new role. It's looking interesting, isn't it? If you made it to the end, that's absolutely amazing. Simply, as it keeps saying, you just clicking on this is more than enough. But if you want to do more and you are not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. That would be absolutely lovely. That would be amazing. If you are subscribed and you want to do a bit more, hit that like button. Comment below, let us know what you think. And until then, stay safe, speak to you soon, and thank you very much.